Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. We are on Speed Gaming 2 today. We are bringing you a Link to the Past Randomizer tournament match between HayfieldBay and Pikapals. This will be game 2 of this set after Pikapals took game 1. And I am Reg. Joining me on the mic today is Zelnus. Zelnus, welcome. What do you think we can expect out of this?
Well, probably a close game. They did game 1 yesterday at around this time. It was, obviously the open mode 7-7. This one is going to actually be a 6-6, which I poked Hayfield to give after the match, and then promptly told him, "Oh yeah, hopefully you'll break the curse of 6-6." And then he immediately sounded, "Uh-oh." So he is hopeful to do it, but we'll see. This is to be a 6-6. What that means is that they only have to complete 6 crystals to enter Ganon's Tower and to defeat Ganon.
Yep, so we'll see 7 crystals on the board as usual, but since we only have to clear 6 of them, that means either the runners will get a choice of what crystal they want to leave out, or progression for one of those crystals might be in Ganon's Tower. Like we might see an Ice Rod there, and that would just force them to leave Turtle Rock out, for example.
Yeah.
We have seen some absolutely nasty 6-6 seeds so far this tournament, though, so could be interesting.
Yeah, lots of Cane of Samarias in Ganon, or lots of Cane of Samarias in Misery Mire, but the flute was actually in Ganon's Tower, things like that.
Yeah, Ganon's Tower's got some fun requirements you never really think about in 7-7 just because you're so likely to have them all when you're going in.
I mean, but, with that, we did have these runners have an interest, and they went into Ganon's Tower pretty much synced. They were, less than 2 seconds apart. And then they found... Oh, Pikapals is paused for this thing. A little too long, if that is it. It might be Pikapals' internet, though. Yes, Pikapals' first Triforce should be lit. But yeah, so what happened, though, is that they ran into key logic. They had a seed where the bid key was in the map chest. They were able to complete the dungeon without E in the boots, but then it turned out that the boots were on Trinet with an Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, which was a pendant, so they both skipped it. And what caused the 2-second difference to fall out into a 10-minute difference with a forfeit was Hayfield didn't know the key logic, and Pikapals did. So Hayfield cleared Ganon's Tower, and Pikapals cleared Turtle Rock and found everything. So
Turtle Rock, sorry. Ganon's Tower key logic is nasty.
Well, it was actually more the Desert Palace key logic. And here we go. Okay, we're back. Looks like we actually didn't miss anything from Pikapals based on the time. They are just taking the same. These two are taking the same exact route as last seed, actually. One of them knows what's on Adams, the other doesn't.
Not going to come into play here, though. It was just triple bombs. We did see a map check reveal of Vanilla Green Pendant in Eastern Palace. Going to be interesting to see if either runner follows that early.
So, interestingly enough, that's actually the same layout as another seed for crystals so far. They actually did also have a green pendant Eastern. One thing that differentiates these twos that I noticed from last time, Pikapals is much more likely to do overworld stuff, it seems, than Hayfield. Well, Hayfield will pretty much immediately go to a dungeon that they have items for, regardless of their equipment. So, you should see that. And both these runners have a tendency to skip lawn checks. Like pendant bosses, and pendant bosses that only have one item, or things like left side swamp. Probably won't see left side swamp unless it is a 2-item swamp left side. That's a really good hut there.
Yeah, the only thing in the way of progression there was a bottle, which is more of a fetch quest. There's a lamp, actually.
Well, I mean, and the
So
sword.
even better. Yeah, the sword doesn't actually open up anything right now. It just lets him kill stuff.
Yeah. The lamp does open up a little bit. Nothing that
Take
our
that
runners
lamp to...
couldn't do.
Sorry?
Sorry, nothing that our runners couldn't do themselves, but it's nice to have.
Yeah. I want to see them take that lamp to Eastern Palace. I really do. Like, even or maybe especially if we don't find a bow here, because it's pendant Eastern, you just go and you're done.
Right, right. Okay, well that's that wasn't bad start. Okay, so we're already at a Moon Pearl sword and a lamp, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's only one item away from doing Addenum.
Yeah, but even if they were to kill Aghanim, the only place they could go afterwards is Palace of Darkness, and without a bow, that's not the most appealing place to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they won't, but it does, you know, this is kind of like early. We're only checking one part of the world so far. But this is one of the densest clusters of items, so it sometimes is indicative of where the seed's going to go early on.
Yeah. Also, Pikapals he's got 109 rupees. He walked right by the bottle vendor, didn't buy the item. Didn't quite catch what it was on Hayfield's side, though. And there's Pika running back up for that bottle vendor, which was nothing of note.
And save and quit.
Oh, Pika's actually going to come down farm bombs out of this hut. It's definitely a little slower here, but means he will be well stocked without having to buy any.
So it looks like Hayfield is opting to, due to low money, opting to ignore the shore and is just going to start here and go east, which means that they might go to Adina after, as they move left of the world.
Yeah. Early game South Shore routing feels like it's really turned into sort of a pick your poison thing between going to Agina early or going to the Ice Shrug Cave early. Historically, the Ice Shrug Cave has been the far more popular option, but it feels like I've seen an increased number of mini Mulrorm Cave West routes. But we did see desert access in that mini Mulrorm Cave. That could drive him even further over in that direction. Or no, he's just skipping the dam entirely. That's also a valid option. And Pikapals is making the exact same play. Nothing of value in the Ice Rog Cave. Now Hayfield's options, he could go dam to desert, or he could go to the eastern area. That's pretty much all he's got on the table at this point. Looks like it'll be eastern for him. That's 5, maybe 6 items, depending on how items lay out in eastern, whether the Armos Knights have one.
Okay, so it looks like Pika is going to Ice Rock Cave.
Yep. Both sides skipping the dam here. With that book giving them entry into Desert Palace, we'll probably see them route those together. Unless we see a flute, then all bets are off.
Hook shot, it's very nice. It's really nice to find when you're going to Eastern. Just because it saves you a little bit of time. You get to save one room of movement.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Eastern Palace.
It also has, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was probably going to say the same thing you were. If you find a glove and take it up the mountain.
Oh, actually, I was going to say that with the hook shot, if you really want to optimize your movement, you can in quite a few spots in Eastern. There's a lot of places to hook shot. And you actually see that right there. He's already swapped to the hook shot because it's quite useful here. Do a bit of movement. It is faster to travel with the hook shot than it is to travel by walking.
I think the hook shot comes out to 2 pixels per second on average, including the time it takes to shoot out, where walking conventionally, if I recall, is about 1.5 pixels. So
yes,
decent time save there, especially over long distances.
Well, it's a pixel or 1.5 pixels because of weirdness with this game's watch cycles. Watch cycle is different depending on which direction you're moving.
Right, and that leads to some fun super optimization techniques.
The completely not visible generally bumping.
Yeah, and on Pika's side, we did have him check the dam, find nothing of value there. He's going into a Gena's cave, and probably going to see him walk out, take that book into the desert, if I had to guess. No gloves means he guaranteed cannot beat the boss of that dungeon. No boots means he may just get hard locked after one chest, but still potentially 1 or 2 items to find in there.
This is definitely what I could have predicted early. Like, if it was just gonna go for the dense areas first, and gonna end up leaving like a lot of locations, just basically hoping that density wins out. He did this in the last game where he went, Eastern very, very early, just because it had more items than the other locations. Hopefully, we'll see Hayfield, like, if they are very close to 500. I'd like to see Hayfield go into the north part of the dungeon, even though they wanted the bow just to get into that rupee room, which has about 90 coins in it.
Yeah, that rupee room is depressingly underused by randomizer runners. It doesn't show up at all in vanilla because the rupee routing there is very well defined and pretty tight. But And we did see Pika get the hammer out of Desert Palace, so Hayfield's gonna have to make his way over there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that is. But okay, well then there we go. Unfortunately, no rupee room today. For people who don't know, and I wonder how many people don't know, if you go to the right in that first dark room, there is a rupee room that's very similar to the pod rupee room, but much smaller. Just a big rupee pit.
And it's still about 90 rupees, as you said. So it wouldn't quite put Hayfield at 500 for King Zora. Would put him close enough that he could potentially at least try to farm it out.
I'm trying to think of where. So the hammer, what does that end up opening up with what we have?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So that means that what have they checked yet?
The front of the castle escape.
Oh yeah, escape. Okay, you're right. Front and back of escape.
Yeah, both of them went to the uncle, but they just got the uncle item and the chest and left from there.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty standard opening.
And it looks like they actually might both be doing that Although Hayfield has a higher chance of going to Zora after this instead, because they're very close. And they do have the Moon Pearl, so they can Fate Flip.
Yeah, with the items they have, they cannot get the item on the ledge, no matter how hard they try. But they can get everything else in the region. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we saw on Hayfield's side in the Eastern Palace big chest was a map with the compass in the first chest. That means Armos Knights is going to be holding an item and the green pendant, right? Did I see that
correct.
correctly on Hayfield's side?
That's correct.
Still probably not a location we'll see either runner go back to unless they're starting to get desperate. But it is 2 items, and it's slow, but it's still 2 items that you can get as soon as you get a bow.
15. How many bones do you need for Splash Legion? Many, because I don't think the Cane block counts as an Ancilla. So
I'm unfortunately not familiar with the intricacies of that glitch. The way I understand it is that you generally need a bow to execute it, though.
I don't think either count as an Ancilla. The Cane of Samaria is a busted item, though. Don't worry. It's still one of the most busted items in this game when it comes to major glitches, but it's not busted for those reasons.
So what's more busted, Cane or 3D Zelda bottles?
Bottles. Well, I mean, no. Like, bottles in general, across the entire series are busted, including this game. YBA is a... Don't do drugs, kids. Also YBAs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, OOT bottles are fancy and broken, but bottles in this game are pretty close. Like, YBA is a crazy glitch. It does a lot of things.
Yeah, it's not that far from arbitrary code execution. Although it's not quite there either.
I mean, bottles are part of Ace in this game as well, just not specifically the YBA. I actually just woke up, so yeah. I finally was able to sleep because GDQ ended.
As always.
By the way, go watch that randomizer from yesterday. Oh man, that was funny.
So, Hayfield's having fun setting up a death warp here against Ball and Chain Guard. Let's see, he hasn't found the progression yet, but he did find...
Oh!
That's it. That's our progression. We can go back to Desert. We can probably get the other item out of it, but we can't kill the boss until we find a glove.
Unfortunate that both runners... Oh. Set up a death warp to... What? Are they set up a death warp in case they find another sword?
That's not unreasonable, I suppose. If you would rather gamble Aghanim than going back to Desert for one item. Because there are... I think we saw about the small key in the map. I know we saw the small key. I think we saw the map.
Yeah.
So that's 4 items to be found.
That's an interest. That's really smart. Because those darts hit a lot harder. Oh. Question mark?
It was arrows.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Oh, you just noticed the arrow count, or? Thanks, chat. And red.
So Pika's got his boots. He'll be following along the exact same route as Hayfield here to the back. And then from there, we'll have to see what progression they get, if any, here in the sewer.
Oh.
Oh, that's a decision.
Man, they should have gone here so much earlier.
So Eastern Palace for 2 items or Desert for potentially 1? What do you do?
Probably Eastern. I don't know what Hayfield's doing though.
He's death warping, but I'm not sure why. He can't get into Aghanim's tower here. Like, I'm pretty sure save and quit would be faster in every conceivable situation there.
It was a mistake.
Yeah, and he just saves and quit. I'm not sure.
It must
Might ask him about it after the race.
Yeah, must have just been a mistake. I think he just didn't realize. Well, now where are you going? Probably getting money for Zora?
Nah, Bonk Rocks.
Oh, right. Oh, you know what? I think he thought that dying in the... He thought dying in the back half, like the part underneath Sanctuary, sent you to Sanctuary, but it does still send you to the castle. That's what happened there. Oh, hello!
Okay, there's Dark World access.
No! Well, we have 2 totally different ideas of what we wanted to do with that glove.
Yeah, I mean, the mountain is just as valuable of a play right now, considering we can get to the east side of it. Personally, I would rather hold off for mids if possible while doing like the Skull Woods down the Hype Cave loop. I like
how we each shouted out a different answer. And then so did our runners. That's pretty good.
Yep, we do see the divergence here, and at this point the progression can be pretty much anything and anywhere.
And in both. So
actually, yeah, almost certain to be in both at this point, just with how many items we still need.
Now there are definitely some things that, like, even though progression is almost certainly going to be in both, this is going to be, there's definitely going to be, like, if gloves are on the mountain, Hayfield is going to luck out so much in round end. If the mirror, same with the mirror, if Pikapals though finds the mirror and the gloves say in the village or along the route there, he's going to find a ton, because a mirror in Thieves Town is a huge thing. His hammer and bow also allows him to do a full loop and then go to Pod, which is a crystal in this seat. So there certainly is a lot here, and there's the flippers as well. Can't get those yet. So we'll definitely have to analyze, like, not only the fact that both these areas are most likely to have progression, but which of these routes ended up being better.
Yeah, because even if we do find big progression in both spots, it's like you were saying, the one that drives efficiency is going to probably be the one that creates an advantage in the end.
But again, I meant to mention earlier that Hayfield kind of just goes for high density, and the mountain is definitely the most high density. He also has a crystal, which also leads into his he prefers to complete dungeons that I noticed in the last seed.
Yep, that's going to be a full clear Tower of Hera from him probably once he's done checking the east side of the mountain. He can just use the hammer and walk right over.
Oh, hello, 10 bombs. Drop.
This cave feels real bad. Getting all those bombs after the 10 drop, seriously?
Yeah. Someone set us up the bomb.
Yeah.
Very nice double hit there. That was good.
Yeah, always satisfying to see dead rocks forced out of the way rather than staying in your way.
So we won't be able to get the tablet, but we will be able to read it. And it's just a little piece of left. And that is actually shorter. It's like that will save Hayfield time compared to Pika if Pika ever, goes there with the Master Sword. Neither runner finding anything though, interestingly enough. We're pretty deep into this already.
We're a lot less deep into Pika's route, but Hayfield already hit the highest density location on the mountain with Paradox Cave. He got what, 40 rupees, 19 bombs, and a heart container? Heart container?
Yeah.
Up to 22 bombs on the mountain.
We're going on a journey, friends. Hayfield not using spin speed.
Yeah, just you pick the setup you like better for this. If he likes the bomb setup better, no faulting him for that.
Should probably learn how to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient. And there's both items, so no risk of having to go to the basement of the tower.
Okay. So, the mountain, completely barren.
On the light world side, at least. There's still the dark world, but we can't get there without mitts. On Pika's side, Beef sounds similarly barren, but that's at least a crystal, which Hayfield's about to match.
But Pikapals is able to continue on. Okay, so the chance of Pikapals not doing Lights of Death Mountain is extremely low. So the fact that the mountain is barren, probably not a bad thing. But the chance in a City that he doesn't go up there is actually much higher. He could end up going up there in go mode, either planning to clear Hera or Turtle Rock as his final. It'll probably be Hera in that case, but that is quite interesting. Also, go ahead.
Sorry. I don't see Pika holding the mountain off until he's in go mode entirely, especially because the flippers are on top of Spectacle Rock and Swamp Palace is a crystal. But he could at least hold off there until he's got the Titan's mitts, and that would at least give him extra efficiency over what Hayfield's doing here. Yeah, Light World Death Mountain, totally barren on every front, except for those flippers on top of Spectacle Rock that we cannot get yet.
Yep. Now, looks like Hayfield is opting to start here, probably because Hype Cave plus Pod, which is pretty enticing, honestly.
Yeah, as far as density goes, that's the full clearable crystal for him. I don't think he actually knows that Pod or Thieves Town are crystals at this point, but starting with Hype Cave pretty much always makes sense regardless.
Very nice recovery with that. Had to hold on to the bomb, otherwise it might have bounced off the wall. So, very nice recovery, not losing time on having to wait for another bomb. Sint, Hype Cave check. Ether. I give that cave an Ether out of 10.
Might be required, but cannot be the progression since we don't have mitts to reach Turtle Rock yet. And yeah, it's actually going to be looking like synced Palace of Darkness plays for these guys. The only divergence at this point isn't happening, is both going to the pyramid first.
Sure.
Yeah, the sync here is great.
Oh, hello.
That's the progression.
So
now when Pikapals goes up... Sorry.
Oh, I think we were about to say the same thing, so go ahead.
When Pikapals goes up the mountain, now he's got 6 additional checks he can make. Plus, if he wants to go into Turtle Rock, that's also now an option for him. Although without the Fire Rod, who knows how far he can get.
Caster's brains are as synced as the players have been lately.
Yeah, we had the crazy divergence at Dark World Access with those gloves, but right now they're just right back on it.
And
they're entering pod within a second of each other, mostly because Pika canceled his dash before hitting the transition for the monkey. Hayfield didn't, so the monkey had to walk. The monkey walking is slow.
Very slow. But he immediately catches up if you stop before that, so it's very strange. Oh, bow locked.
Bow lock isn't an issue because we have...
That was very smooth on Hayfield. Oh, RNG stopping Hayfield there a little bit. Okay, so everyone, I know it sounds like I cut Reg off in that last line, like he just stopped talking. His power's gone, so it's just me. So hopefully Reg gets his power back. He's just been saying his power died for no explicable reason. So, hi everyone. It's me, your commentator. Hey, that's a mirror! Oh my gosh! I was actually just about to say that if they found the mirror, that would be really sweet, because then they could go to the green pendant. That's cool. Very good. Very, very good. So remember earlier I did mention that, one of these guys' routes is going to be much better, because if, one side's kind of barren or has the wrong items, one guy's going to get to do, a bunch more checks. It looks like that actually worked for both runners in that Hayfield Hayfield is going to get to do a bunch of mirror checks that Pikapal had to skip, but Pikapals is going to get to do the entire mountain. So, very interesting. It makes the mountain trip for Pika better, but it also makes Hayfield's overworld routing better. So, interestingly, for Go Mode, we're much closer than it seems. I mean, those slits might not be nearby at Sits, but I'd rather, avoid looking for the Ice Rod. If we find the Fire Rod, we'll be pretty close to Go Mode. We don't even need the Fire Rod. We don't need either rod. Bombos would be what we need. Fire Rod or Bombos would put us pretty close to Go Mode. Yeah, Fire Rod and Bombos will put us in go mode. But so would a Flute and Myers Medallion. Oh yeah, well I mean a sword, whatever, they'll find a sword. Sits means that they only need to have 6 crystals to enter Ganon's Tower and defeat Ganon. In theory, it's a faster seed. In execution, it seems to have caused some pretty wacky key logic. Or not key logic, but item logic, which is pretty cool. And if you've never done a mystery seed, you should. Like if you're here and you're just looking for some casual game to play, yeah, you're not really sure, you don't really want to spend money because you already play ALTTPR. That should be all the video game you need, right? Right. So you know what you should do with your life? You should go into the ALTTPR Discord, and in that Discord, what you do is you type in !mystery unweighted. You grab a piece of paper because you're probably playing entrance, but you might not be. So if you get lucky and you don't have to play entrance, and then you just play the seed. And you don't know what the goal is. You don't know what's going to happen. You could be playing an inverted, basic entrance randomizer. Or you could be playing some hell seed that only Andy should really ever play. But you know what? It's your casual game for the next month because it was actually a 0-7 seed that required like 7 dips into Ganon's Tower. But it's also an entrance seed, so you don't know where Ganon's Tower is either. So it takes you like the whole month. There you go. There's your video game for the month. That's my pitch for Mystery Seed. And that is a crystal now for Pikapals. Very good play. Uh, 5-7 or uneven GP seeds are actually really bad. From a racing perspective, from like a competitive racing perspective. Well, it was 4-7. It was 4-7 Ganon vulnerable, I think. So you never even had to do add a 2, which was the big part of it. Correct. Every crystal that you remove basically makes Ganon's Tower more and more of a pendant, and Ganon's Tower is 3 pendant dungeons in 1, so it's just bad. Or it's bad from a competitive perspective. It's really fun when you're just playing, like when you're just racing casually. Like I said, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite modes. Dude, lately, like mystery is super fun. Just make sure that you have a pen and paper handy because you're probably gonna have to make a lot of notes so that you keep. If you notice that you're in expert mode, for example. Hayfield grabbing the flippers, probably gonna also then now go to Dark World. Okay. I expect both runners to go to Swamp after this. And promptly abandon LSS. So the Quake requirement means that we don't have access to Turtle Rock yet. Very good from Pikapals. Okay, those flippers are super important in this seed. Is that a minor glitch? Yes, it is. It doesn't allow you to skip any progression or crystals, and thus that's usually the requirements for a minor glitch. If that, say, lets you, get the crystal somehow without beating Moldorm, that would be a different story. All it does is let you skip the big key if it's in the basement. He got up by 2, but Hayfield just hasn't gone in that area yet. Terrapod is new. It was not in the previous tournament. It was discovered basically during the prelims of this tournament, just before. You can save upwards of a minute. What he means by peek out by 2, he means peek out by up by 2 dungeons. Peek has 2 crystals over Hayfield. Actually, that's not correct. Hayfield did pod, so it's only 1. So it's not as bad as it looks. And Hayfield actually will have an advantage when they go to Thieves Town because they'll have the mirror. So they'll actually have a much better clear density once they go there. Is someone ahead by now? No, not really. Pikapals about to be disappointed. Oh, hey, that's powder. Nobody's really ahead. We're clearing swamp. Red just figuring out his internet issues. And this is probably one of the worst fights with this equipment. Not doing the menu boss though, doing the spin speed boss. They have not done Zora area yet. Yeah, that could have been a sketchy fight. Pikapals is probably going for Smith Chain because they haven't done it yet, but Hayfield will be doing Smith Chain plus all the items that he hasn't checked already. I heard that the race on SG was crazy. Welcome anybody who's coming in, who's streaming in from that, by the way. Our runners are almost tied for gold. Not cute. Or gold rupees. If Pita not doing the Smith Chain, just doing some mirror checks near Swamp. What about this race? Sits, seed, sits open seed. We are Ice Palace access away from Go Mode or any other dungeon. Ice Palace or... Yeah, if we did Ice Palace, which will come first probably, then we have Go Mode. Just the way that this seed works. Now if we find Quake and Ice Rod, we could see a runner go to Turtle Rock and hope that Turtle Rock is, you know, got the Fire Rod in it, which would be the second seed for these guys to have a Rod in Turtle Rock. Actually, any Quake might point somebody there, hoping that both rods are there, so. But with it being sits and the layout that we currently have, we will probably not see Turtle Rock. In fact, with this, like, it's definitely gonna be interesting, like, where, depending on how these items lay out. Yeah, if we find Bombos or Fire Rod, we are in Go Mode. Yeah, Death Mountain was completely dead. Including Hera. Single Arrow. This is their game 2, yes. As you can see by the Triforce symbol on the screen, they are playing a 6-sit seed, which means that we're currently only looking for access to one more dungeon between Ice Palace and Turtle Rock. If we find Quake Medallion and an Ice Rod before we find the Fire Rod for some reason, then or even just the Quake Medallion, we could see Turtle Rock before Ice Palace, but the Fire Rod is much more likely. I didn't count items either, but they're just going to skip left side regardless, probably. Unfortunately, Pikapals having a little bit more trouble with this fight than Hayfield did. Now, if we find Bombos, then Fire Rod could lock part of Ganon's tower. But if they know what they're doing in Ganon's tower, it won't block it. By the way, this fight with Hammer is very difficult. Hammer is required to enter GT, I think. No, it's not. It almost is. Good spin speed. We also technically need to find another sword, but the likelihood of finding a sword on our way to GT is pretty high. Now we could see the rare sword hunt, where somebody goes into GT, clears the whole GT, doesn't find a sword, beats GT, still doesn't find a sword, has to go look for a sword, then go kill Ganon. This is sit, yes. That's why we are looking for one, we're looking for like 4 different items in random combinations, honestly. Kill either 2 with swing. That's not possible, as more dungeons require the sword than not, I think. Nope, just 6 crystals required for GT, 6 crystals required to kill Ganon. Oh, our first look at Swamp Palace, or Skull Woods, sorry. Are we gonna have another Skull Woods has Fire Rod Seed? Skull Woods is like the easiest dungeon to get free crystal. Sure, when it's a crystal and you have a Fire Rod. Yes, you can have any combination of crystals. You can have 7-1, although that does nothing. Unless it's open Ganon, but then that's dumb. You don't even have to create custom seeds. You can do whatever you want with the general seed generator. You can do a lot of things now with the randomizer. You should go check out ALTTPR.com. The version 31 is probably the biggest change to the randomizer in ever. Honestly, one of the biggest changes, I think. You can even generate seeds with no data on them anymore. So you can actually have a bot called Seshrala bot generate you seeds that are called mystery seeds, where you don't even know the setting. You have to figure out what the settings are as you play. It can be stressful because you never know if you're in swordless or if you're in... you basically have to play the seed, and part of the seed is finding out what the thing is. Yes, the phrasing for number/number is numbers of crystals to enter, number of crystals to kill. And we're finally seeing our runners check Zora, the waterfall ledge, and this. So thank goodness. How does one get the files for playing this? Go to the ALTTPR Discord, type in the bot channel, I don't remember the command anymore, but there will be an image that will tell you how to Google. Yeah, dungeon blocked itself and sits its end. Not in 100%, not in 100% inventory or 100% accessible, but you can in beatable. There is a mode now called beatable, which means that items can lock themselves behind themselves. There it is! There it is, we're in go mode. Oh my gosh, we're very close. We're in sword mode. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I'm not sure what Hayfield took so long to go here, but yeah, here we go. just needs to go to Desert After Ice, and he is good. So they are entering. They're quite close. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know where the other swords are. But we're gonna find them. Oh yeah, Fighter Sword Cold Stare. And I don't think either of them have blue potions. Well, we already checked the tablet, so that's not possible. But it is possible to have 3 swords in Turtle Rock, and in which case, Quake can be in Turtle Rock, or sorry, in GT. Swords to be in TR, but not 3. Why? You can cast a medallion with 1 sword. You can't check tablets with 1 sword. We are seeing both runners go straight to GT, though. Hayfield is going to need to grab some extra magic. He does not have enough. Just in, what are our sends? 6-6. Yeah, Hayfield is going to actually need to pop that blue potion. Very good fight so far from Pikapals. But he is... Oh no, right there in Red Mouse. This isn't actually as dangerous as it looks. Very clean. Very clean fight from... Okay, now we're into hammers. Yeah, so I know also I am not just talking constantly over Reg and ignoring him. Oh, guessing game. Sure. I don't remember how to do it. Sorry. There we go. Thanks, Sniff Boy. So, like, with this, we are still looking for a sword. Hayfield? Oh, right. Hayfield still has to do Desert and actually has to run there. This is something you don't see very often. So, like, the other swords could very easily be locked in, you know. So, for people who are just joining from the pin or whatever, this race isn't even close, you don't know that. We still need a sword, so I'm not really sure how a, like, 30-second dungeon is that big of a difference between the climb. But, especially when we're still looking for a sword. So, If there's no sword in GT, it's gonna be very up in the air. Guys, it's not a whole dungeon up. It's grabbing the bid key and then running out. So, thanks. Oh, it's quite literally run into the torch and then run into there and then climbing the mountain. So it's not that big of a deal. But we will see where the sword is. Now, if the sword's in GT, the race is probably in Pikapals' favor. It's not a whole Desert Palace up, though. So, thanks. Yeah. If there's a sword in GT, like I said, which I have said that if there's a sword in GT, it is probably in Pikapals' favor. There's a Bombos medallion. And there's the bid key. Oh my gosh, is Pikapals gonna go for the full is he just gonna climb and hope there's a sword up there? He is! Oh, he is going left too. Okay, never mind. It looked like... there's the sword. Okay. Now it's Master Sword Silverless, which is still, it's still going to be very close. Like, it's very easy to die here. Pikapals is very good, though, so I don't see him dying. Oh, Pikapals is... Oh, Pikapals doesn't have enough, so they are going to try and glitch these guys out and shoot them into space. Hayfield grabbing potions due to Master Sword Silverless. I think that he might have, but he might not have wanted to risk missing. Like, honestly, like, even though, like, Pikapals is already climbing the tower, found his other sword, like, one big mistake from Pika, like, a fall during the very long fight, and Hayfield took some extra safeties, that could be the difference. Master Sword Ganon is not an easy fight. Low percent ALTTP has an extremely low success rate. It is an extremely long and arduous fight. No, actually, I don't remember where Ice Rod was. I think it was in, yeah, I don't remember where Ice Rod was. It was on Hobo, right, and, Hayfield just skipped Hobo, that's right. Silver and GT still possible? Possible, unlikely. Would make it a lot easier. Well, beeline to desert. Yeah. Beeline to his go mode. They both are taking the same route. That is I've never thought of that. Hayfield's brilliant. That was a brilliant way to say no, Dipto, not today. I am my own master today. What? That was some swag. That was some crazy swag. Hayfield does have a blue potion, yes. He went and bought some potions. He did take a quick detour. Hey, mushroom! Oh, and grabbed the cape, which that's more safety. He just dipped that cape. Oh! Oh! Hey, that was just some fun. Trolldorm is on a rampage today. Actual Trolldorm. Oh my gosh. Hayfield, just open up the other chest. Oh! You almost fell again. Okay, that was a much better pattern that third time. Trolldorm used Earthquake. It was super effective. Oh my god! That worked out so well. That was very fun. Yeah, if Force just sits, yes. I'm always a little overexcited. I'm either very tired or very overexcited. Ooh. I'm betting Silvers and Misery Mire. Okay, so we have an extremely long fight here for Pika. And it is not trivial. This fight is not trivial. Pika has no safety except for maybe a green potion, maybe a red potion. Does have the hook shot, which is kind of cool as a safety. Yeah, Master Silverless can be done in one bar with lamp. Quite easily. You actually have a lot of... wait, where was it? I missed it. I was looking at Hayfield. Oh, Light World? That can be Zora, Mimic, or Mimic Cave. It could also be Green Pendant. Zora, Mimic Cave, or Green Pendant are the only locations left. Oh, Checkerboard as well. Pedestal, I think it says Lost Woods. Okay, Pikapals is actually doing this very well, so this is very good. Pikapals is a good speedrunner. So. But I mean, there is still the chance of a mistake and a fall. And a fall would actually be devastating. He isn't a whole dungeon ahead. He's actually only a fight behind. Does Mimic Cave count as Death Mountain? Yes. No. Mimic Cave will count as Light World. That's why I need like Death Mountain. I believe. It is almost over, and that is it's a very good match. Just better route in from Pikapals, a little bit of just like, there was a 50-50, and honestly, I think Pikapals won that 50-50 early on. I'd buy that for a rupee. Very good match. That was a very short seed. That's very good. I have to go leave it. I gotta leave soon-ish. But yeah, welcome Pikapals. I know that stream at one point said there was 2 of us, but unfortunately Red is gone. His internet is dead.
That's too bad for him.
I know. This was a very fun scene to watch. Good job. That was very, very fun. I think maybe it wasn't for you.
Well, I don't know. Fighter Sword until GT sounds pretty average to me.
You guys are actually, other than so Hayfield hadn't done Desert, he just hadn't done it yet. You guys were like Enter Go mode at the same, or Sword mode / at the same time. And honestly, like the main divergence was you found the gloves actually at the same time, like in 20 seconds. But you guys had very different ideas on where you wanted to set them. So because that mountain was completely barren, he had to do one extra mountain climb. I'd say that was the entire difference. He had to climb the mountain one extra time. That is quite a while. He had to go and get the flippers and so I'd say that's where the difference was.
Yeah, it's definitely tempting to go straight up the mountain from there. I was considering it. I just decided I was going to go to Thieves Town instead. And it just worked out a lot better than this race.
Yep. Those Titan mitts. And funny enough, you guys actually went to Hype Cave at the same time. He started at Hype Cave, and then you guys went to Pod. So, like, other than that difference, it was pretty much the same race. Like, you guys synced at so many different points. It just so happens that that extra climb he had to do was a big deal. And that was the difference.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those seeds where it felt like most of the choices were fairly obvious. Like, there's the choice of whether or not to go up the mountain or into Dark World once you got the glove, but other than that, it was kind of just clear the light world for Dark World access and then rush dungeons, and then here you win.
Yeah, that was it. Like that was the seed. It was a nice short, quick seed. I'd say that like this is kind of what people expected since it looked like, not like some of the horror shows that have appeared lately. Going into GT, finding out that you need some Mario, which is actually in like Misery Mire, but your flute was in GT. Like, those are the horror stories that we've been seeing. But there's been seeds where people have had to get their 7th crystal to beat GT. And then that's a little closer. But yeah, I feel like I jinxed it. I hope Hayfield isn't mad at me. I did make that joke yesterday, and I now feel very bad.
That's true.
I feel very
believe
bad.
You're the only reason why the race went this way.
But yeah, no, that was very fun series to get to commentate. And we will never know where those silvers were. There's like 3 locations they could. Only like 3.
Based on the credit sequence, I think that the witch had them.
The witch? Oh yeah, the witch could have them. They could be they weren't at Zora, they weren't at Pedestal, they could have been at Seshrala.
Yeah, I think the credit sequence said Witch and Robin Hood, which I think is Bo.
Oh right,
Yeah.
yes, it's changed now. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, you're right. Silvers are at Witch. Thanks, chat. Yeah, they could have. Oh no, Hayfield! Oh wait, no, Shroom was on the mountain. Never mind. Hayfield went and actually got safeties using the warp just before GT.
Right.
Yeah. That and having to do Desert Palace is about what he was like. He wasn't that far behind. He was entering Agra 2 as you built Ganon, so it was about 2 fights behind. Like 4. He was 5, 6 minutes. That's about how long that fight is. So
yeah, it looks like we finished like almost exactly 5 minutes after me. So yeah,
it all adds up.
Master Sword Silverless Ganon is kind of a slow fight.
Yeah. It's even worse in when you're doing low percent because you don't have red mail.
True. You can't just sit in the middle of fire bats and assume you'll be fine.
That speaking of sitting in the middle of things and being fine, you didn't take the tape, which GFE was very surprised about.
Yeah, I'm always bad at using the cape because you have to menu to it, and then I don't remember if I actually had any magic potions, so I didn't want to burn a bunch of magic on it.
True. Yeah, all in all, fun seed. So you're playing Illis next.
Yep.
And congratulations on finishing Hayfield.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, GG.
Oh, when I found the fire rod, I felt there was probably 90% chance that he was ahead of me now.
He was.
When I was in GT, I was thinking he might finish now, or my only hope was that he would have a bad Ganon fight.
Yeah. You guys were actually synced finding the fire rod, but Reg had gone to desert already, and you and Reg diverted at the Dark World access, and then synced up again twice, like in 2 different spots. But because that was literally the difference. It was just the extra climb you made. Honestly, that would account for like the 5 minutes. Because climbing that mountain for those flippers takes a long time.
Yeah, I know. I know. Did you go to Eastern Palace in the start?
Yeah, I went to Eastern like right before the castle.
Yeah.
So that was a nice. I don't even remember. Was there anything there? I feel like there wasn't.
No, there wasn't anything there. 300 rupees and some bombs, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right for Eastern. Can't just give me whatever I want for some reason.
When I'm thinking back on the seed now, I think my only chance would be to go to this waterfall right after Swamp Palace.
That would
I
have
think
been.
I basically went from swamp to desert and then straight over to waterfall stuff.
Honestly, if either of you had done Fate Flipper, that person would have won this seed by probably a significant amount, because that Fire Rod wouldn't have diverted you at all. Like, there was nothing in unless Flute was an Ice Palace. That might have sent somebody on a weird side journey. But it also might have saved them time otherwise, so...
Honestly, I think if I had fake flippered for Fire Rod, it wouldn't have even done anything other than made Swamp faster. I think flippers would have just been go mode at that point.
I think that's correct. So yeah, I mean, if one of you had fake flippered, and surprisingly neither of you did, I just... combination of low money and not wanting to just check those two items, what you would have done when there was a lot better chets throughout the seed. So it does make sense. But yeah, fake flip for the double rods would have completely changed the seed, because there's no way you would have accidentally gone to Turtle Rock.
That would have been very difficult. Moldorm 2 said no.
Yeah. Also, I had the funny joke that Pikapals, you had some trouble on Mini Moldorm, and just before you opened up the Quake Medallion, I made the obvious Moldorm uses Earthquake, it was super effective joke. And then he had Quake Medallion, so that was very funny for me and chat. Because apparently he channeled the power of Quake to shoot you off the platform twice.
He must have. There were just random holes opening up in the platform. I couldn't handle that. That's clearly what happened, and I definitely didn't just clink my sword into him a bunch of times and fall off eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, it will be like congratulations, Hayfield, this far in this very arduous tournament. Honestly, like lots of matches required to get here, not including the qualifiers even. So congratulations, and congratulations, Pikapals, for getting to continue on. You're gonna have a very difficult fight against Illis. Illis is very good at this game. But so are you, so it's going to be a really good match. I will be looking forward to those.
Yeah, we'll see how those go. Hopefully there'll be more fun seeds.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, but it have been fun to participate in this tournament, and I have really enjoyed it.
Well, hopefully we will see you in the next ones. Always keep an eye out. There isn't just these speedy ones. Sometimes there are other ones, and yeah, thank you very much to Illis and Illis and what? My brain is shutting off. Hayfield and Pikapals for that match. I'd like to shout out Rodaro, who was here, but is now not. His internet is dead for an Rodaro's internet is just gone. He doesn't know when it's coming back. So hopefully he's back with time. Yeah, and then to our tracker, Nif Boy, who is in chat. Is there another race coming up? There's one at 6:20. So you can take a look at that on the schedule, and there will be matches tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys, unless you have anything else you'd like to say. I'll take that as a no. And yeah, good luck in the future, everyone, and have a wonderful day.